Hey, this is Rob Rains with Powerful Identity. Welcome to Module 3 of the 7 Shifts program of Powerful Identity. Module 3 is Powerful Knowledge. This one, unlike Shift number 2, Shift 3, Powerful Knowledge, is a little bit more work. It's going to take some effort. I don't say that to scare you off, but to give you the heads up that this one is going to take some commitment, some effort on your part. Module 2, Powerful Language, was a little bit of less effort, more return. This one is going to have a powerful return, but it is going to require a little bit more effort. Let me launch into what this is. Powerful knowledge is really two things. It's the humility to recognize that we don't know all of the things that we need to know in order to succeed in our new endeavor, in order to succeed in our identity change. And in addition to that humility, it's a commitment to learn what we need to learn in order to make the change. Now, this may sound like, well, that's the work of the entire program. No, most of the other work is allowing our brains to make that change, allowing our minds to make that subtle shift, to make that change. Powerful knowledge is an attitude and a commitment that we are going to be learning forever. We don't stop learning. We don't. It's not like a school journey where we say, okay, I achieved my degree, I finished my program, I got my certificate or my degree. I'm gonna stop there. It's really a commitment to learning every day of the rest of our lives. What are we learning? So we live in a universe of law, invisible laws that surround us all the time. Most of them unwritten laws. Many of them laws that we've discovered and have written down. But let me give you an example. The law of gravity is a fantastic one. You can be aware of the law of gravity. You can be ignorant of the law of gravity. Whether you're aware of it or ignorant of it, if you work with the law, you're going to have success. If you work against the law, you are going to struggle or perhaps die, depending on how badly you work against that powerful law. The law doesn't change. The law is unyielding. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care if you are a prince or a pauper, a princess or president. It really doesn't care. That law works no matter what. Everyone is subject to it. That's one example of an invisible law of our universe. There are thousands or millions of such laws. Some of these laws are laws of leadership, laws of science, laws of mathematics, laws of language, laws of work, laws of money and finance, laws of relationships, laws of parenting, all sorts of laws of government, all sorts of laws of health and fitness, just dozens and dozens of laws that we run into each day on a daily basis. And then again, through our universe, thousands and possibly millions of these laws. Whatever area it is that we're trying to improve upon, in my case, it was that I needed to lose a lot of weight, and I needed to lose 200 pounds to be at a healthy, right-sized body and a healthy weight, and to be able to move and do the things that I wanted to do. I had to learn additional laws of health, fitness, nutrition, eating, and eventually exercise, and I even needed to learn about food addiction, which was a case unique to me. You will want to learn about whatever it is whatever change you're making in your life. If it is financial, you'll need to learn the laws of money, how it flows, how to save, how to attract money, and then how to get money to stay. Or money actually doesn't stay, it doesn't gather up, but it flows through. But you want to have it flow in such a way that you create a reserve versus depleting it quickly. And so you want to control the flow of money in your life. If you are working on health, you want to learn those laws of health and fitness and nutrition. If you're working on relationships, you want to learn the laws of communication and relationships and the power differential in relationships, and how to create and build a lasting relationship without manipulation, without coercion. These laws are very closely associated also with the laws of leadership. How to get people to be willing to follow you. You don't want to force people and scare them into following you. But in leadership, the goal is to get people so inspired and so powerfully behind whatever idea it is that you are supporting, that they are willing to follow you into hell carrying the gas cans. That sort of leadership, that sort of quality of leadership inspires loyalty, inspires willingness, inspires work. Anyhow, we want to learn the laws of whatever it is that we are trying to change in so that we can make those changes. Let me give you an example. Let me tell you a story of a way in which I applied powerful knowledge to my journey. One of the struggles that I had early in my journey was eating at the proper times and eating the proper amounts. A thing that triggered me was the hunger pangs that I had stuffed myself for years, stuffed down my emotions with food. And so I'd kept myself full for many, many years. And so hunger pangs were actually a new thing. And as I began my journey, I was now eating proper amounts of food. And so I would naturally feel a little bit hungry about an hour or two before a meal. Now, these hunger pangs didn't stay around for very long. They lasted maybe 10 or 15 minutes at the very most, and then went away again and were just fine. However, when they came, I would sometimes get a little bit nervous. This was a new feeling, new intensity that I had not felt before, and I was worried. Am I going to starve? I would begin to feel feelings and think thoughts of deprivation, of scarcity, and so the feeling of scarcity began to fill my soul and my mind as I would feel these hunger pangs. Now, this may sound extreme. You might think, well, hunger pang, that's a very small thing. But again, for someone in my position, in my journey, where I had not felt this very often, this was scary. This was concerning. And it would create an emergency where I felt like I needed to go and eat something right then, even though it wasn't time to eat yet. And even though my body had been satisfied. And so I applied the principle of powerful knowledge. I admitted with humility that I don't know everything and I need to learn more. And then I made a commitment to learn more. And I Googled and looked for articles and things that would teach me about hunger pangs, specifically where they came from, what caused them, what did they mean. And here's what I discovered, that the stomach expands as we eat, and then it needs to contract again. Hunger pangs are simply the feeling of the stomach contracting again so that it can be the right size prepared for the next meal. If it never contracted, it would eventually overstretch and become unusable. But so when you eat, you receive abundance and your stomach expands. And then you feel hunger pangs as the stomach contracts to prepare for your next meal. It's not an emergency. It doesn't mean that you need to eat right then. It means you're going to need to eat in an hour or two when the stomach is fully contracted, fully prepared for that meal. However, that contraction means it's preparing for the next period of abundance. So instead of hunger pangs signaling scarcity in my mind, they began to signal I'm between two periods of abundance. I just had a meal, and I'm going to have another meal, and I'm just in between those. And the hunger pangs, I saw them as a friend, not an enemy or an emergency, but a friend telling me that my body was working exactly the way that it should. And this became a very positive thing. That little change in mindset made it much, much easier, scads easier, to stay on plan, to stay on my program, and to do what I needed to be doing. As I did so, the weight naturally dropped off, and my identity changed, and I became that new person, the person whose identity I was seeking is someone who was healthy, someone who followed healthy habits, someone who ate at the proper times, who ate the proper amounts and the proper foods. And as I did so, the weight naturally dropped off. It became very easy. I did not have to sweat and labor and work very, very hard for each calorie or each pound, but the pounds simply dropped as I stuck to my program. I challenge you to apply powerful knowledge, to first admit with humility that you and I don't know everything that we need to know in order to make the changes in our journeys and in our lives. And second, to make a commitment to learn every day, to become smarter, to become more intelligent in the area in which we are trying to change. And as we do so, that we will discover secrets, we will discover laws that we need to apply or work with in order to experience that change. And lastly, The last piece of that, or the corollary piece of that powerful knowledge, is a realization that many of the things that we think we have learned, many of the things that we have learned that we believe are true, may actually be inaccurate assumptions. And as we humbly are willing to suspend those assumptions and learn new things and apply those new things and experiment with them, we will discover things that will help us to learn, that will help us to achieve lasting change. We will shed those old assumptions and take on new knowledge that is an armor to us and actually helps us in our journey. I'm so grateful for this. I challenge you to do this. I'm excited for it. And I challenge you to be active in the Facebook group and to reach out by Facebook group, by messenger, by text, to receive support in the areas that you need it, and to let us know what kind of results that you're seeing. I'm excited to learn about those results and to join you and rejoice with you in your journey of change. I'm so excited for that. Grateful again for the changes in my life and for this opportunity. And once again, this is Rob Rains with Powerful Identity. This is Module 3. Wow. Module 3, shift number 3, Powerful Knowledge. Make it a fantastic day. Take care.